Welcome back into Sports Drive. Once again, I'm your host, Preston Moore. My last guest, I know my first two guests, we've been from Canyon High School. A lot of news coming out of Canyon High School recently, but I mentioned we're going to talk a little bit of baseball. I mentioned we're going to talk a little bit of college baseball. And so joining me now is the head coach of the Amarillo Badgers first-year program, kind of first-year back program, I guess, since disbanding the program decades ago. Coach Brandon Rains of the Amarillo Badgers, Amarillo College. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're just plugging away, just grinding through the season.
Absolutely. Well, you're grinding pretty well through the season, sitting right now at 20-12 overall. So, what do you think has been, as this first season has progressed? What's something that you guys have improved upon as the season has gone on? Obviously, we've talked about it a lot this year. I feel like with Amarillo College sports being in their first year, and West Plains as a high school, they're in their first year of existence as well. So a year of firsts for a lot of coaches, players around the community in Amarillo. What are some things that you think maybe were a challenge at the beginning of the season that you've improved upon as the season has gone on already?
Well, that's for sure. As our pitching has gotten better as we progressed, and our defense has gotten better as we progressed. We started out, scoring 21 runs in the first game. We've been swinging it well all year. We continue to swing it well for sure, but our pitching staff has really kind of stepped up and kind of, each one of them is kind of cemented different roles. We're still working through some things, but they're getting more and more confident every outing. They're throwing more strikes. We're getting more and more confident on defense. We're making less and less errors. And that's the name of the game in baseball is just to win the freebie war, which is, don't give up too many walks and too many errors and let the other team do that. And then, just try to outslug them essentially. So I'm really proud of our pitching staff up until this point. They've really kind of turned a corner really the last 3 weekends in conference. They picked the right time to do it. And have really done really well on the mound with limiting the walks, limiting the mistakes, kind of working ahead and kind of filling in their own. As you said, we're a first-year program, and, we only have, about 35 innings of experience on our entire pitching staff. We've got a couple of transfers that had limited outings last year. And same thing with the hitters. We only have one hitter that had 100 at-bats last year. Everybody else is just freshmen. So we're still figuring out some things. But I've been very proud of our guys and had some definitely some resilient ball games so far, and they're doing well so far.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned first-year program, and the reason I say first-year program since disbanding is because one time I said first-year program, and I accidentally used the words first year in existence, and it is technically for this iteration of the program, I guess, but we got a call afterward, and somebody was like, hey, that's not the first year in existence, and I was like, I know, I slipped my words up. First year since coming back. You mentioned that your hitting has gotten a lot better as well, and pitching and defense all around really has gotten a lot better, but your hitting is one thing I want to talk about because Sidney Ward is third in the country in home runs. Tell me a little bit about him and his performance this season as the year's gone on. How exciting is it to have a player like him on your team?
Well, he's just a special player that we hope is going to be playing professional baseball very, very soon. He has the ability to hit the baseball to all fields, not just the pull side. And he's gotten better and better at that as the weeks progress. He's a guy that hits both speeds, the fastball and the breaking ball, equally well. He's a very patient hitter, and I think that's what's led to his high home run totals, as he doesn't leave the strike zone very often. We ask all our guys to manage the strike zone. We keep our approach very simple, which is swing at strikes and take balls. I know it sounds elementary, but that's our focus. And he does a great job of that and not leaving the strike zone. And that's really why he's able to get in a hitter's count and drive the baseball once he gets his pitch, so to speak.
Yeah, you guys haven't lost a series in a few weeks, and you've been having a lot of success in the month of March. Coming up this weekend is Howard College coming into town. What are some things that you've seen out of them that you're preparing for, in preparation for this series to make sure that you come out with another win?
Well, I mean, when we start preparing for a team, mostly what we're going to look at is we're going to identify, their pitchers. Are they throwing strikes? their walk totals, things like that. Are they an offensive club from a standpoint? Are they going to run? Are they going to try to hit the long ball? So those are the things that we try to identify with our scouting report. But more important than a scouting report is just us taking care of the baseball and doing what we do well. Okay, that's our focus all the time. Sure, we're going to go over, Howard. They've got a couple of guys that can steal a lot of bases, so we'll work on that. We did that today. We'll work on it again tomorrow in preparation. So you do a little bit of stuff, when it comes to what they do, but more importantly, we want to focus on what we do and what we do well, and keep on, instilling that and grinding that into our players, and that's our focus. Those guys can really swing it. They've got a great reputation. They've got a couple of pitchers that are going to be really good, and our work's going to cut out for us. I mean, we're sitting in first place, yes, like we've mentioned, but we've still got 4 of the very top of the league opponents coming up our way. So we've done what we're supposed to do for sure. But we're not looking too far ahead, and this series is definitely going to be our biggest series of the year. And we've got them at Hodgetown, and we've got to figure out how to take 3 out of 4. That's our goal every weekend: take 3 out of 4, and hopefully we'll be ready to play, and hopefully we'll have another good crowd for sure.
Yeah, and something that's interesting for me because, personally, I've always been just a fan of sports, and obviously now a reporter, but, I didn't play. I played growing up, but I didn't play in high school, so it's been years since I've actually played competitively. I've just been a huge fan, and I love sports. Something that's interesting to me is coaching philosophy. You mentioned that you are focusing on what you do well instead of what challenges the other team is going to present to you. Obviously, you want to focus a little bit on both, but you're focusing more so on what you do well. What goes behind a choice like that, and why do you make sure that that's what you want to do with your team, and how does it lead to success on the field? Because clearly it is.
Right. Well, so in baseball, it's a little bit different than the other sports. I mean, football, right, you're going to game. Basketball, you're going to game plan according to what they do offensively. Right. In baseball, the goal is to eliminate your own mistakes. I mean, eliminate the walks, eliminate the errors. And if we're really good at hitting home runs, we're going to keep on working on that. If we're really good at stealing bases, we're going to keep on working on that. So we try to eliminate our weaknesses, and we try to build strengths all the time. And that's a basic baseball professional level approach that we like to use here, and it's worked out well for us. Guys are buying into it. It's a lot of repetition, a lot of different drills. And each drill that we do is designed for the specific outcome in mind. So we just take our strengths and we just kind of build on that. And we just try to eliminate our weaknesses every week. And we can't control who we're playing. All we can control is what we're doing and how well we do it.
That is extremely well said, Coach, and I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, phenomenal season so far, especially considering first year in existence since disbanding. So we're really excited for this upcoming weekend series against Howard. Coach, thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thanks for all you guys do for Panhandle Sports. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have full coverage over that series against Howard this weekend. They're both, all 4 of those games. Sorry, I tripped over my words a little bit. All 4 of those games here in Amarillo, Texas, Friday at 11 and 2:30, and then on Saturday at noon and 2 o'clock. We'll have coverage on News Channel 10 over the weekend as those games progress. Coach Raines, once again, thank you for coming on, and we will be right back with more Sports Drive to wrap things up here after the break, so stick around.